Sometimes the supernatural doesn't just haunt a house, sometimes it consumes an entire town. These are the events that pushed communities into hysteria, terror, or silence. Whether sparked by divine visions, sinister cults, or invisible afflictions, these incidents left whole towns paralyzed with fear, forever altered by what they witnessed, or what they chose to believe. Tonight, we unravel 3 terrifying paranormal events that shut entire towns down. Case 1. The Fatima Apparitions, Portugal. In the small Portuguese village of Fatima, the year 1917 was marked by war, famine, and religious tension. But what happened there between May and October would elevate this sleepy Catholic town to global infamy. It began with 3 shepherd children, Lucia dos Santos, aged 10, and her cousins Francisco and Jacinta Marto, ages 8 and 7. On May 13th, while tending sheep near the Cova da Iria, they claimed to see a lady dressed in white, brighter than the sun. She told them to return on the 13th of each month for 6 months, promising a great miracle. As word spread, thousands gathered in the fields during each of the monthly apparitions. The children described terrifying visions, souls screaming in hell, a looming world war, and a prophecy of harm to a future pope. But the climax came on October 13, 1917. Over 70,000 people stood under pouring rain to witness the miracle of the sun. According to eyewitnesses, clergy, farmers, skeptics alike, the clouds parted, the sun pulsed, spun like a wheel of fire, then hurtled toward the earth before zigzagging back into the sky. The ground, drenched just moments before, was suddenly dry. Newspapers documented it. Photographers captured the massive crowd, but critics dismissed it as mass hallucination or atmospheric anomaly. Still, the town of Fatima changed overnight. It became a pilgrimage site. The children became revered. 2 would die young, fulfilling another prophecy. Today, over 5 million people visit annually. But some believe what appeared wasn't divine, that the spinning orb was something else. Something not from heaven, but from above. Whatever it was, real miracle or mass hysteria, it brought thousands to their knees and cast an unshakable shadow over a quiet town that was never the same again. Case 2. The Matamoros Cult Murders, Mexico. Just outside the border town of Matamoros, Mexico, where narcotics and poverty coexisted uneasily, the discovery of a mass grave would uncover one of the most horrifying cults in modern history, and send an entire region into panic. In March 1989, 21-year-old American student Mark Kilroy disappeared during spring break. Weeks passed with no leads, until police raided a ranch known for drug activity. What they found was pure nightmare fuel. 15 mutilated bodies were buried in shallow graves. Some were missing spines, toes, even brains. The walls of a shed were covered in symbols. Inside was a ritual cauldron, filled with animal blood, bones, and human remains. The cult was led by Adolfo Constanzo, a charismatic man who called himself El Padrino, the Godfather. Blending Palo Mayombe, Santeria, and his own twisted ideas of protection magic, he promised invincibility to cartel leaders in exchange for blood sacrifices. Kilroy was one of those sacrifices, tortured and killed in a ritual intended to strengthen the gang's supernatural shield against law enforcement. As the story broke, schools closed, borders were locked down, armed forces patrolled the streets, parents kept children indoors. Matamoros transformed overnight from a party town to a town under siege by fear. Constanzo evaded capture for weeks before dying in a police shootout, but rumors spread. Some said the cult had more members. Others claimed the ranch still echoed with cries at night. A few believed the rituals continue, just deeper underground. This wasn't legend, it was real, documented, photographed, the rituals, the deaths, the fear that silenced a town. To this day, many in Matamoros won't speak his name, not out of grief, but in case he hears them. Case 3. Pont-Saint-Esprit Mass Poisoning, France. August 16, 1951. The serene French town of Pont-Saint-Esprit awoke to screams. People were hallucinating, seeing demons, serpents, fire on the walls. A man jumped from a second-story window, claiming the devil was chasing him. Another tried to drown himself, thinking he was being consumed from within. In just days, more than 250 residents were affected. Dozens were institutionalized. 7 died. August 16, 1951. The serene French town of Pont-Saint-Esprit awoke to screams. People were hallucinating, seeing demons, serpents, fire on the walls. A man jumped from a second-story window, claiming the devil was chasing him. Another tried to drown himself, thinking he was being consumed from within. In just days, more than 250 residents were affected. Dozens were institutionalized. 7 died. Initial theories pointed to ergot poisoning, a hallucinogenic mold found on rye bread. It had caused outbreaks in the Middle Ages, fueling stories of witches and possessions, but there were inconsistencies. Survivors said the bread came from a single bakery, yet not everyone who ate there was affected. The symptoms, terrifying hallucinations, shared visions, violent outbursts, went beyond normal ergot effects. Then the rumors began. Some whispered that it was a secret government experiment, a chemical weapons test by the CIA or French military. A 2009 report alleged that the CIA may have laced the bread with LSD as part of a mind control study, codenamed MK Delta. Documents were incomplete, officials denied it, but the theory stuck. What's certain is this. A quiet town was reduced to chaos overnight. Schools closed, shops shuttered, families locked themselves inside, terrified their neighbors might turn violent. For weeks the streets were empty. The silence hung heavy. Pont-Saint-Esprit recovered, but the paranoia never left. Some survivors still speak in hushed tones, haunted by memories of invisible insects crawling on their skin, or the voice that whispered in their ear, urging them to jump. Whether it was tainted grain, mass psychosis, or something darker, we may never know, but the fear it caused was very, very real. Fatima, Matamoros, Pont-Saint-Esprit, 3 places that were changed not by war or politics but by fear. Paranormal or not, these events left entire towns gasping for air, looking for answers that would never come. Subscribe now, and join us next time as we step into more places where silence and shadows rule. And remember, when an entire town goes quiet, you should too.